Here we are then, folks, the second part of the double header from yesterday. If we can beat two more of our promotion rivals today and further extend the 13-point gap we've got between us and the playoffs, you got to start believing. Championship, here we come. Hello and welcome to part 87 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're at home against Carlisle and away against Stevenage. Carlisle are in 7th place. Stevenage are the team that we are 13 points ahead of, who are in 3rd place at the moment. These two games will be massive if we win them. Little reminder, we did win both games on yesterday's episode. A blip in the local derby against Coventry aside, including that, and we've only lost one game since November. It's now mid-February, and we've won every game but that one since mid-December. So Coventry are just spoiling our fun, because we could have been on a massive long winning streak, the likes of which have never been seen before. But it's still been enough to form a nice big gap at the top of the league, and hopefully we can extend that today. This is the team that we're going to be putting out there to try and do exactly that. We've got... I'm so excited, I can't breathe properly. We've got Parker in goal, a back four of Anderson, Hughes, Sawyer and Ibrahim, with Johnson, Ball and Barber in midfield, and then Richardson in behind McDonald and Weaver. I'm going for the Ball and Richardson combo that we had right at the start of the season when Richardson was looking good. Richardson's had his little run of games recently. I was saying on the last episode how I wasn't overly impressed with him, but he is a goal threat, and I don't know, I just wanted to have him and Ball both in the team. What's the harm? If it doesn't work, we'll stop doing it. Simple, really, isn't it? But I still think James Ball's future might be as a central midfielder, as he starts to get older. And I know we're a long way away from starting to worry about him getting older, but I'm also thinking in terms of, well, once we get into the Championship, we really are mixing it with the big boys. Getting promoted fairly easily from the National League to the Championship isn't unusual in Football Manager. But once you hit the Championship as a formerly non-league team, you kind of hit that wall, because you're coming up against teams that can spend £10 million on a player, and we can't spend £10 on a player. And I don't know if we're going to be able to carry on with a 4-3-1-2 at that level. I know we've done it very successfully for a number of seasons now. Remember, it's not the only tactic we've used in this series, though. Some of you suggesting that I only ever use a 4-3-1-2. I prefer to use a 4-3-1-2, but sometimes we just can't get it working. And that might be the case in the Championship. So if we have to sacrifice using an attacking midfielder, I don't want to have to sacrifice using Ball. So getting him some practice in central midfield now is no bad thing. And Jay Johnson puts us 1-0 up from the penalty spot. So as things stand with that goal, we don't need to see a replay of a penalty. I want to see a league table. We'd still be 13 points clear of Forest. Carlisle were in a playoff spot, but they're now they're tumbling down the league as it stands. Who is the other team we're playing? Stevenage, is it? Who we're currently 15 points ahead of with 14 games to go. When we've got more points than games left, that's when you got to start believing you're not getting caught, surely. I think if we do anything but win the title from here, I will allow bottle job comments, but I don't think it's going to get to that point. I thought we'd won another penalty for a second there, but Weaver was offside. We've actually been quite subdued today. It's been a very quiet game so far. There are chances being created, not very many particularly good ones, and certainly none for Carlisle. One. If we're going to be certain, let's speak the truth. There's been one chance for Carlisle. It wasn't a very good one. It didn't warrant a highlight, but they are on the attack again here. And we're being a bit sloppy at the back, and they have had a bit of a pot shot from miles out. But, we've got Parker in goal. They've realised that our weakness is always going to be the fact that we have a dodgy keeper, regardless of who's in goal. So sometimes it's worth just having a crack from long range. Richardson scores, and my decision is vindicated, everybody. Playing Richardson and Ball in the same team was a bit of a risk, but like I said, Richardson is a goal threat, and that's exactly what he's done there. For some reason, he's pushed on ahead of the strikers. That's something Ball rarely does. But when we're playing with the two target men, effectively like we are, although Weaver's on an advanced forward instruction, we've got the two big lads up there. It certainly doesn't hurt to have Richardson running beyond him occasionally, as shown just there. McDonald's dropped very deep again. Richardson ahead of him again. Barber back to McDonald, who'd charged forward and misses a pretty good chance. But again, we're just continuing to dominate this game. Stevenage look like they've gone ahead in their match now, so the gap at the top is down to 13 points again. And Carlisle have just had their best chance of the game. It's only gone down as a half chance though, so for us to only have given away one half chance in the first hour, that kind of defensive form is why it doesn't matter that we've got a dodgy keeper. Right, Weaver's going to come off to give Dan Fisher an opportunity back in the team. He hasn't played for ages, and I'm starting to feel bad. We'll bring Morris on for Morrison here for Hughes. We'll leave it there for now. I am looking at midfielders. We've got Fletcher and Squire Bill both on the bench who can freshen up that midfield if need be. James Ball, remember, is just recovering from injury. In fact, now I've remembered that, bringing Fletcher on for Ball seems like a sensible substitution to be making. We'll just switch these lot around. I can never remember the combination they play in. That looks like the best one. And hopefully just see out this game for me. Ricky German is still cashing his £4,000 a week cheque. Not really playing. Despite the fact when he was in the team, he was excellent. But we've got 4 really good strikers for this level. And, I mean, to have Dan Fisher and Ricky German sat on the bench, that shows how well Weaver and McDonald have been playing together for most of this unbeaten run that we've been on. Barber now plays it to Fletcher. Fletcher has a shot from miles out, and I think that's just sort of skimmed off the top of the crossbar and gone over. It doesn't really matter because Carlisle aren't getting back into it at this point. What we really want is for Stevenage to fall behind in their game. I mean, I think I'm like 90% sure we play Stevenage next. I can't actually remember though. But hopefully that'll be an opportunity to extend that lead at the top. But we pick up another win in our long sequence of wins. And yeah, it is Stevenage that we play next. Just a short gap between now and that game, but hopefully we can pick up yet another victory. Just the one change for the Stevenage game then. We've brought Fletcher in for Johnson, just ready to keep the midfield freshened up as much as we can. They're all getting down into the mid-90s for their conditioning now, and I like my conditioning to be in the high 90s. So we've got some very good central midfield players. We may as well rotate them around a little bit as we need to. But I mean, I guess if the games... I don't know if we're going to have many more times this season where we're going to play 3 games in 8 days, but if it does happen again, I might do a bit more rotation throughout the rest of the team as well. For example, talking about not giving German or Fisher any opportunities up front, this would have been a good time to give them some opportunities. I didn't. I thought about it. No, Weaver and McDonald just been so good. It just feels wrong to mess with that. So, I mean, I might be proven wrong. We might have a really poor performance today, but fingers crossed we just continue winning the way we have done so very often recently and continue our charge towards the League One title, which I'm gonna say I think it's all but inevitable at this point that we're going to win League One. Watch us mess it up for me. I'm tempting the FM gods into messing up for me, but I feel this has got to be the year we're making our way into the Championship, and then I am afraid. I always thought once we got into League Two, we'd make fairly short work of League Two and League One without even necessarily needing a huge overhaul of players. We've moved through League Two and League One so many times before in Football Manager. I'm thinking back to like with Southend, like with Portsmouth over previous years. We know how to get through League Two and League One. They're my wheelhouse. Moving from the Championship up into the Premier League, that's a move that I've struggled with in the past. Thinking back to Ipswich, I think it took us 3 seasons with Ipswich, who were already a Championship club, an established Championship club. It took us 3 years to get them out of the Championship and into the Premier League. How hard is it going to be with Nuneaton? And especially as I think any money that we make is going to go into presumably building a new ground. Because like I was saying on the last episode, I just don't see how Liberty Way is going to be suitable for playing in the Championship. I don't think you're allowed terracing at that level. And it's not going to provide us with a big enough attendance. I don't know if we're going to get bigger attendances, but we are filling the ground every match now. So even if we stay where we are, we've got to expand because we're filling it up every week. But we don't really have the money to do that. So we could potentially be financially crippling ourselves as part of going up. So I don't know how Premier League parachute payments work. Do we get a share of them once we're in the Champions League? Champions League? The Championship? Or do we just have to suffer and get relegated? There you go. Take the silver lining off of the delight that has been this season. Let's not be happy about the fact we're probably getting promoted. I'm going to start being miserable about the fact we're probably going to get relegated next year. Barber's just put us 1-0 up, and that could be a massive, massive goal because Stevenage were the team chasing, trying to get up into the automatic promotion spots. So if we can beat them away from home, I think, I will call it after this game, if we beat Stevenage today, we're going up. At the moment, the gap is still only 14 points because there's so many teams in that chasing group. But importantly, we've beaten them all recently. I'm just going to swap a few players around, get German on, get Johnson on in midfield as well. Means we can get Richardson off. And also give Ricky German some game time finally. Let's see if he's still as good as he looked early on in the season because he was scoring some spectacular solo goals. I just don't think as a team we play to his strengths, but this is where he's going to prove me wrong and grab 3 goals before the end of the match. Ibrahim across to Barber, to Ball. Go on, let's score a goal without letting him touch it. Barber over the top towards, I don't think Ricky German's on yet because that looked like Richardson was still there. So I guess, it's 1-1. Right, now we do really need German to come on and show us what he's made of because I'm not calling it unless Parker's very disappointed to be beaten at his near post. Not as disappointed as I am. There's one man who's quite happy about it though. Robbie Nadat's thinking, hey, a few more of these and Robbie's back, boys and girls. Yeah, that was pretty poor. You should look sad with yourself, Parker. We do want to continue with the changes, though, because I want German to get in there and grab us a couple of goals and show us that he deserves a run back in the team before the season is out. We're going to bring Dan Fisher on as well. So we're going to go Fisher and German. A complete departure from the strike partnership that's been serving us so well. But like I said, they were due a disappointing game, and they have had it today against better quality opposition. So let's try these two together, really, against really good opposition. We should probably be having German or Fisher with McDonald or Weaver. But we've now not got that because I wanted to get both of these on because they've both got bags of goals in and one of them's bound to grab us something from somewhere. Headed across towards Fisher, and it is Dan Fisher who gets his head on it, and it's 2-1 with 4 minutes to go. It's saying good vision by Fletcher. Was it a Fletcher cross? I thought it was Ibrahim. No, it is Fletcher who gets the cross. It's a lovely, beautiful weighted cross right onto the head of Dan Fisher. German's right underneath it as well, ready to have a pop at it if Fisher misses. And 5 minutes to hold on and declare ourselves champions with, 13 games still to go after this one. So we'd be 14 points clear with 13 games to go. I think that is unassailable. And then we can focus on winning the league, not just on promotion. 1 minute to hold on. But there is a big ball over the top, but Parker's there to collect it. Safe hands, Parker. He doesn't want Robbie Nadat coming back into this team anytime soon. And it's lumped up towards Fisher, who doesn't win the ball, but Barber collects it, and it's over the top for Fisher. German is in the middle. Cross comes in to Ricky German. He grabs a goal as well. They've both come on and scored. It was a beauty of a cross from Fisher. I mean, he got an excellent cross of his own for the goal that he scored, and he's returned the favour to the team by just planting this onto Ricky German's head. Look at this for a cross. On his weak foot as well, and it's a lovely header from German as well. Stevenage 1, Nuneaton 3. We're going to be in the Championship next year, boys and girls. I think we'll probably just play through a whole bunch of games before the next episode. We don't need to watch the whole of this run in unless it starts to go wrong. Probably just check back in for right at the end of the season because we are dominating, and that's awesome. That's so very cool. What a season. If you have enjoyed this, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.